aqui tá no volanda. Gostante de fazer orgia. Fica sentando em cima da piroca. 24 horas por dia. Não vai ter decada por cima da piba.
Good evening and welcome back to Off the Line Racing. We are now getting ourselves to the halfway point of Season 3. We head ourselves over to Suzuka in Japan. Absolutely love it around here. Sector 1 is absolutely dangerous. 5.807 kilometers long with its 18 turns. 10 to the right and 8 to the left. Balances out in terms of corners and the tyre degradation. But that Sector 1, again, dangerous on the curves. Very low grip. You've got to be absolutely on the nerve with only one DRS zone as well. So it can use it to your advantage down that main straight. But where will you pull off your manoeuvres? 130R is something I am expecting to see some brave moves if you can get there with the slipstream, maybe down into the final chicane. But nevertheless, we are here, ready to rock and roll. My name is Corey Brooks, one of your two commentators for this evening. Join with me, it's the mighty Sam. How are we doing?
I'm doing good, Corey. How are you?
I'm fine, ready to rock and roll here in Suzuka, I can't lie. I love it round here. It is looking a bit dry for qualifying, I've got to say.
Yeah, well, you know, Japan, it can get very wet. It can get, you know, some very treacherous conditions around here. You know, with it being a very wet country itself. Let's hope for some changing conditions in the races, I'd like to say.
I would like to see that myself personally, but qualifying is about to begin. We're not going to keep you waiting any longer as we get ready for the halfway point of the season.
Yeah, who's going to be the first out on the track? As I see Alpine coming out on the track, and I believe a Haas and a couple of other cars as well. The Haas just beat the Alpine out. Wow, that was a bit tight. That's definitely a pit lane penalty there for the team. Bit of a fine on the way. But it is Jack who will get us underway for this qualifying.
So we'll jump on board with the Haas. Jack rocking it strong. He's been driving that car for the first half of this season that we do know of. Not too well in terms of points for himself and his team. A bit of a downer on some of the races, but looking to maybe claw back into the second half of the season. We'll take a look at the calendar on our mandatory lobby restart so you can refresh your brains on what is to come into the second half.
Yeah, let's say he's definitely going to be hoping for a good qualifying today. He's not had the best of races. He did, however, get himself a podium at Monza, which was very, very welcomed by him, I'm very sure. But other than that, it's been lackluster as he's looking to let the Alpine through by the looks of it. And that will be the Alpine of Malcolm Jonas. You know, he's been there every race, realistically, hasn't he? He's putting challenges in left, right and centre.
He has, yeah. He was at one point leading. I think he might still be. Was he leading the driver's standings at some point before Tig's taking it back? Potentially.
He was. I think he was. He was definitely, at least for the start of last race. Whether he is still leading after Silverstone is a different story. I will have to double check, but I'm just still trying to help some drivers get into the lobbies, as you know. With the,
yeah, no worries. We're just jumped on board with Glitch 10. Glitch 10 is going to be starting us off with the first timed lap as he comes down into that famous first corner. That DRSA down the pitch straight. You can go around the outside if you get the overspeed, but the favoured line is the inside. He is taking a little bit of curb there coming out of turn 2, but no, this is where it gets dicey. Turns 3, 4 and 5 through the snake section. You want to stay clear of the curbs unless your setup can handle it, but he deals with it well. Comes out of the anti-bank curve and up towards Dunlop. Will finish his sector 1, will be the fastest sector so far. You'll see that purple pop up, fires it through into Degner turn 8 and back around Degner 2, where he's flat to the floor once again, up towards the hairpin. Now this can get a bit dicey. You can lock up the race very easy there. He almost caught some grass on the right hand side of that Williams car, but did very well to keep the traction there. Didn't lose it by touching that the green grass on the side, but he does come down out of 200R, down towards Spoon Corner now. Sends it a bit wide. You see maximising the track limits, trying to get the rotation. Again, maximising track limits on the exit of 14, exiting Spoon as he comes down the back stretch now, heading over the top of what would be the straight up towards turn 10. There he goes, straight over it, over the bridge and around 130R. Beautiful set of corners. We should see some overtaking down there with the slipstream, but into the final chicane we go, coming out of the Casio triangle and around the final turn. The last curve's flat towards the line. It's a 27.4 for the banker time to beat. Next to the lines, Mariam Jonas a 27.8, so does fall a little bit short. I think that may be Aston Martin Avi Gabadi on an air. It's not. It was Red Devil setting a new pole time by 2 tenths. Goes 2.5 tenths clear over Glitch 10 Jack with a 36.6. Not happy with that lap. Maybe just caught himself a bit of a moment. Backed out of it. Maybe going again. We will jump on board with Jack to see if he is going again. AMS Smith to jump up to P2 though with a 27.2. So the lap times are coming in. Wouldn't surprise me to see the 26s hit the timing screens.
No, definitely expecting a couple of 26s at least today, you know, especially from the likes of Red Devil, Smith. You know, we're missing, obviously, Leon today, but, you know, Tig, who has been a dominant force all season, I'm definitely expecting him to set a nice, lovely little 36 as a couple more drivers getting times on the board. Crossfire Strikes with a very poor time there.
That's a double out,
1 minute 40, definitely made a couple of mistakes on that lap, but Callum Birch gets himself set a nice 127.8, sits himself comfortably in P6 for now.
Currently on board with Crossfire Strikes, the reservist in the McLaren. I think that was a double out because there's no flashing light on the back of that rear McLaren. He's got the tyre temperatures where he needs them. He's finishing off his sector 1 now as he comes out of turn number 7, and he's 1.2 seconds up on the Delta time. So he's had a moment. He's either spun it round, he's running it wide out of Degner 2, but does not invalidate. Cost himself some time to save the invalidation there, so this may be a time to see on the board for Crossfire. He's backed out of it. Flashing light on the rear there. He's not happy with that. He will be coming back to the pits potentially, slap on some new rubber and try again. It's just under 12.5 minutes of qualifying yet to go. Only half of the grid setting times. Some drivers potentially struggling, but we'll go on board with Avi Gabadi, who did just set his time and go P9, so we did just miss out on that and jump on board with somebody else. We're on board with Darth FIFA, also known as Thomas M, as he's coming through Snake section now, the Mercedes reservist.
Yeah, heading through the S's now. He's going to want to set himself a nice banker lap here. You know, first time driving for us here in OTLR. Let's see what he can do as he heads on towards Sector 2 now. Flies it through nicely there, flat to the floor, just a downshift, and then immediately hopping on the brakes. And he's run it wide. Does he validate? I don't think he has. He's just managed to keep it, but I think with that, he's had to lift off, and he will not be setting the greatest of times. He does look to be carried on, though, as he fires it now, heading towards, not towards Sector 3, heading towards Spoon Curve, sorry. I'm getting muddled up with my words here. Let's see, can he keep a nice time together here? Gets through Spoon nicely there. Nice tight to the inside. Oh! And done it. He's just about saved it.
Wait, hang on, I'm getting confused.
Catching that curb too much on the exit and just firing up them rear tyres. That is not what you want to be doing.
I'm keeping my eyes out for invalidations because that's twice I've seen white lines crossed and that map does not change to the red, but we do see Bulba go up behind Glitch 10, his teammate. Filling in the reserve for the Williams is Booba, FER Booba, 27.5. Gets lines up behind Glitch 10, his full-time driver teammate. Anybody else on a time lap? I don't think so. Everybody has set a time lap apart from Myth and Barber Truck, who's down at the bottom. Maybe they're catching some invalidations, having a couple of issues, just not getting the laps that they wanted. I'll go on board with Myth, who's about to finish his out lap and hit what will be his first time lap on the board, providing can get the lap needed.
Yeah, hopefully as he heads towards turn 1 now. Late braking, not very much braking though, as you head down to 4th gear, take that exit curb, and now coming through the S's, you do not want to touch a single curb coming through here or your car will be going into the gravel. Takes it very nicely through the S's as he now comes on the exit. Looking very tidy so far as he heads towards 8-9 now. Flat with a downshift just through there. Again, nice bit of braking. Don't run it too wide and invalidate. Lovely line from Myth there as he now heads down to the turn 11 hairpin. Gets it through very nicely there. Braking on point. He is looking to set a mega lap here so far. Let's see what he can do as he now heads down towards Spoon Curve, my personal favourite corner of this track. So tricky to nail it right. If you get it just wrong in either direction, you're either spinning or you're invalidating, as he just about keeps the car collected, heading towards 130R now. Flat through here. Battery, what can he do?
He's looking quick, he's looking fast, but we do have a disconnect for Callum Birch. If you can get him out as he comes through the Cassia triangle, sets himself up for the last curve, comes around, we'll have a little bit of a boost from that DRS before he crosses the line. It's P3, 27.3. Good lap for that Ferrari.
Yeah, very good lap indeed. He's definitely going to be happy with that, especially considering it is his first lap of the session. And yeah, well, not too far split at the front. You know, between the top, 10 drivers, there's 5 tenths, which is a very close gap. A very, very close gap.
Currently on board where the crossfire strikes as he comes through the snake section there. You can just see how he's trying to avoid the curbs at all costs, but get as close as possible without touching it and costing himself that loss of traction. But he is a second, 1.2 up once again, and nowhere to Degner, but does not run wide or cost himself an invalidation this time. So Cross may be on for a good lap here. Sends it around the hairpin now, coming into sector 2 and flat to the floor around 200R.
Yeah, you're going to need to be as quick as possible at this point. Only 7 minutes left in the session. He's only going to get 2 laps as he goes through Spoon, locking that front steering as hard as he possibly can to hook the front of the car in and get himself through Spoon nice and easily as he now heads on towards 130R. Flat through there, a little bit of a curb on the inside. Now coming to the final chicane on, take a bit of that inside curb on both entrances. Oh, bit of wheel spin there. He's not going to be happy with that. He has to catch the car. Let's see where that puts him. It's a 127.5. It puts him up to P8. Considering how the end of that lap went, he won't be too displeased with that. It's a very nice banker lap for him there.
It is absolutely. Red Devil is crossing the line to start what could be an improved pole time, where AMS Smith is coming around the hairpin now, looking to try and challenge for that time. Lewandowski, Mika Lewandowski and Tig. Tig on a timed lap. We know that Tig is a fast driver, been pretty quick, dominating, winning some races early on in the season. Could be now leading the drivers' standings. We'll see that on the lobby restart. But new driver stepping in. Mika looking to potentially bring a bit of a fight and put some separation there with the current banker times. Everybody's trying to fight for it now. Just fight for the pole position time as we get into the halfway point of the season. Starting off at the front here in Suzuka is going to be vital, and to maybe gap out of that lap one, avoid all that unnecessary unpleasantry in the lap one incidents. As we know, AMS Smith across the line does not improve.
Yeah, he was up by just under a tenth coming into sector 3, but he's lost a bit of time through the chicane, not quite getting his braking right. That's not going to be happy with that lap, as he was looking to set a pole lap. But it is what it is at the end of the day. If you make a mistake, you're going to pay for it, especially in qualifying when it is this close. But Red Devil now almost 2 tenths up on his time. Can he maintain that gap on the exit? Heading towards the start finish now, sets a new fastest lap, a 127.17. Very, very nice indeed.
Red Devil just looks locked in here in Suzuka. This looks like it could be a bit of dominance from the Aston Martin. He's just got that car tuned up, fired up, ready to go. The tyres are working for him. He's just flowing through the corners effortlessly. So he's just really, it could be setup related this, or he could just be one of his favourite tracks and just knows how to drive it well. We'll see drivers struggling on those curves. We see a couple of drivers. Whoa, Booba with a new pole position time, 27.094. So very, very close to breaking into that 26 time, just a tenth away. What a lap there from the Williams reservist. Williams on top. Sam, you'll be happy with that.
Definitely. I am very, very pleased with that indeed, especially considering their disappointing races they've had this season. But Booba currently with the fastest lap, and he's still got time to go out there and do another lap. We're definitely seeing a couple of 26s here today. I'm hoping that we see you know, at least the top 4 or 5 in the 26s, that would be a very lovely sight. As I think Banana is on a lap currently. Let's have a look. No, 2 seconds down on his time. I think he's going to be looking to do a double outlap here. That's either a mistake from him or he is double outlapping there. But who will we move on to next is the question.
Well, Red Devil, Boober, Banana, all done laps. We have a couple of drivers coming out. Avi Gabadi, Crossfire Strikes on their out laps. We've just seen Jack and Thomas, should I say, cross the line in the 28s, struggling dramatically. I mean, Thomas is almost a second off pace, 8 tenths before he even gets close to jumping into that 20, close to a 27 runner. Jack, 28.3. He needs 5 tenths. He needs half a second here to get close.
Yeah, they need to find that time quickly as there's only 3 minutes left in the session. Everyone else pretty much is in the pits. They're getting ready. They're putting their new fresh soft tyres on, taking all that fuel out and getting ready for the final lap. They're going to need to get a move on if they want to either come in and set another lap or set, 2 laps as is now.
We're on board with Avi Gabadi. We'll follow him through in Snakes just to show you how close they run it to the apex without trying to touch it. It's just dangerous part of the track. Look how close they get, but barely touching that apex through Snakes. You can't risk it, you can't afford it. It's dangerous, it's treacherous, it just sends that rear end for a spin and you end up in the gravel, but he deals with it well and he pushes on through now to finish the rest of his lap, coming to finish sector 1, 2 tenths up for Avi Gabadi. So this could be a big improvement if he can find a little bit more, get himself into that top 10. You see 3 drivers in the 27.8, Malum Jonas, Callum Birch and himself, Avi Gabadi. So this 2/10 improvement, if made 3, maybe 4/10 improvement, could see him challenging there for P8, P7 in qualifying. So he needs it all now as we come through sector 2 into Spoon Curve. Sam, you mentioned one of your favourite parts of the track. It is very, very nice to get. You nail the corners, it flows nice, it feels nice, and it just feels unstoppable on the power, the exit speed that you can get. Finishing sector 2, half a second up for Avi Gabadi. This could be a beautiful lap indeed. Just what is needed to get up there in the order, to have the best qualifying possible, set yourself up for the best race start possible, but you don't want to end up mid-pack. You want to get further up the field than that, stay away from everybody on lap 1. Crosses the line for P3, a 27.2. What a lap, very much needed there for Avi Gabadi. Wow.
Yeah, he definitely needed that as Crossfire Strikes will be the next to cross the line. Set to 127.2 up to P4. That's a very lovely lap from the McLaren reservist there. Will he keep that position or is he going to fall down the order a bit as there's everyone pretty much is now back out on the track getting ready to set their final laps of the session. That's, I don't know, he could keep it, he could not. Is he going to save his battery and try and just nab another lap? Don't know if he'll have the tyres to do it, but it's always worth a shot.
He's running very, very slowly. It's if he's got the fuel. He does move out of the way, does not want to risk any form of impede. However, that car, all cars on an out lap except Avi Gabadi, Crossfire Strikes. If Crossfire Strikes is on a cooldown lap before going again, this could classify as an out lap. But Barber Truck is just sat there in the pits, not going to go again. He's happy with where they are, starting at the back of the grid, not even setting a time.
No, not by the looks of it. Each to their own, I guess.
And Bobby, as well, you see down in the order, not setting any sort of time, did serve a qualifying ban. Oh, there's an invalidation. I feel better now. I thought the settings were wrong, but I can see an invalidation, so that makes me happy. Barbara Truck retires from the session. He's going to watch these final flurry of final runs. And now, who will lead us off in the final laps?
Believe it's going to be Malum Jonas will be the first driver to set the final timed lap as he heads on towards the hairpin now. He's got a kick salvo right up his rear diffuser. Makes a bit of a mistake there. He's not going to be happy with that. He's going to lose some time from that. Heading towards Spoon now. Can he improve? Can he find that time that he needs? He's currently sat P13. He needs to improve here. He needs to get himself up into the top 10 at least. Can he do it? Hit Spoon nicely. Heading now on the final main straight before the start finish. Heading towards 130. Tight to the entrance and the exit. Now towards the final chicane, cutting both curves on the inside. Can he improve? It's not the best of runs, and he's backed off. He has backed off his run.
Marius Anderson's coming on through, crosses the line, goes up to P9. Next is the V-Carb. It's Smith for Paul. It's a 26.997. Barely breaking into it by 0.03 of a second. But there it is, your 26-time sitter. Can anybody respond? Booba, all eyes on you. You were the one who was closest. Do you have that 10th in the bag to get close? If you have a 10th, you will be on pole position. Booba through the Casio triangle now, getting ready for the final curve. We'll get that last little boost, that last little spurt of DRS. Crosses the line and he's not there. He did go up by 22 thousandths of a second, but not enough for a 26 time. And I think that will do it for your qualifying. AMS Smith, out of nowhere, takes that 26 lap time and takes pole position.
Yeah, very good lap from AMS Smith there. The only driver to get himself into the 26s in the end. Red Devil unable to improve enough on his lap to get any more positions. But, you know, it was a close qualifying. Very, very close. I mean, between the top 14 I can see so far, only 8/10 separating them, which is lovely stuff. And yeah, over the net, it was 8/10 to the back of the field. It was very, very good qualifying from the lads there.
We haven't really gone through the order though. No, I've just had to make sure I screenshot the order very quickly. I am your host for this evening, so I need to set the order now as we get ourselves ready for the lobby restart. But we will come back to the commentators' booth now, where Sam, you can give us a quick little rundown over the current driver standings, if you please.
Yeah, I certainly will, as I am pulling them up now. Currently, your championship leader, after a very hard-fought climb back to the top, is Tig in the Racing Bulls. He's had a very good season here so far. I mean, he's been consistently getting them high-scoring points paying positions, and it has paid off here at the halfway point of the season. He sits P1 with a 4-point gap to Banana in P2 in that Mercedes seat. Banana, obviously, your last season champion for Tier 2, now here in the revamped Tier 1, looking to take the challenge back to the top, looking to try and get that win yet again. Moving on back from Banana is Malium Jonas in the Alpine. 57 points total, 3 points gap from Banana. He's had a very good season himself as well, consistently on the podium, was leading the championship even at one point, and he's only 7 points out of, you know, being the leader. He can very much take the lead here today. It is anybody's game currently at the halfway point of the season. Moving on back behind Malium Jonas, is AMS Smith in 4th and Marius Anderson in 5th. You know, Marius having a good season and Smith having a great season as well. Sets himself nicely into P4, securing that Constructors, you know, title as is at the moment. You know, Racing Bulls are looking to be, you know, the dominant pair this season. They've just been up there every race scoring points, and they've got themselves a nice gap in the Constructors' Championship. Marius Anderson and Ice Cream, 5 and 6, both your Kick Sauber drivers there, both extremely quick drivers, both had very good seasons so far. You know, doing great, getting lots of lovely points for their constructors. I'm sure they'll be happy with. Moving on to P7, you've got Jack, P8 Halo, and P9 Shanez. All three of them drivers not scoring the greatest amount of points so far, but, you know, a couple of them are reserves, being Halo and Shanez, and obviously Jack, the full-time Haas seat. Moving on behind Shanez, you have Fake Mano, AMS Bobby, and Puncito. All three drivers, again, not scoring as many points as they would like to so far this season. You know, Haas especially struggling a lot, and, you know, Red Bull having one of their drivers leaving full-time is, you know, it's not what you want to see. You know, Bobby has, on track, won, I think, 2 races so far this season, but has lost out on getting penalties. He's going to be looking to capitalise, though, today, as he is starting from the back. So, you know, what strategy will we see from Bobby today? I'm hoping a very ambitious one at least. Moving on behind those lot is Red Devil in the Aston Martin, P13 in the standings. He's had a very unlucky season, if I do say so. He's always been right there in qualifying, and then it all just crumbles down in the race, unfortunately. But he's been here every single week. You know, he's not giving up. He's sticking it out. He wants to win, and yeah, props to him. He has been very, very unlucky this season. Moving on behind Red Devil, we've got PW Jones, who is no longer racing in this tier. He has dropped down to tier 2, but nevertheless is still on the standings as he did race and score points. Moving on behind PW Jones, the rest of the reserve drivers, you've got Alec and Stocky. Both drivers not really racing that much this season. As I say, the reserve drivers, you know, they're not here. They're not going to be here as often. I think even Stocky, I believe, has moved down to tier 2, along with Julian Prince, who's next in the standings. Leon then rounds it out at P18 with Sat Perilli and IRT Jeremy. Your final 3 drivers in the standings, all drivers in reserve seats. However, we do now have a full, you know, again, we have a full seats for all the drivers again. You know, we've had a few drivers leaving and coming and going, but every seat is currently filled out as it stands, and we have a lot of quick drivers in them seats ready to come back and put in a challenge for the wins and maybe even Drivers' Championship if there is enough time left. Anyway, moving on to the Constructors. Obviously, Racing Bulls first in the Constructors, 119 points, been absolutely dominant all season. Closely following in behind is Kick Sauber with 108 points. These two teams are looking good. They're both looking to be challenging at least for the Constructors title, because behind them, the next closest contender is 48 points behind in P3, which is Mercedes. That is your main man, Banana, current holder of a title. He's been brilliant this season again, carrying that Mercedes team on his back, with Gatcha getting some unlucky results. Moving on behind the Mercedes in 4th and 5th is Alpine and Haas, 57 and 55 points respectively. Only just behind the Mercedes, could potentially take that P3 spot off them here today. Moving on past the Alpine and the Haas, in P6 we've got Aston Martin, P7 we've got McLaren, P8 we've got Red Bull. All 3 teams having very unlucky parts of the season and somewhat lucky parts to the season, especially, you know, in that Haas, you know, with that podium that they did manage to collect at, I believe, was Monza. Moving on behind the Red Bulls, you've got the Ferrari and the Williams. Nothing really much to say about their season so far, but we do have 2 new Ferrari drivers today and a new Williams driver who has set himself up on P2. So could we see a bit of change in the order at the back today? Who knows? I'm certainly hoping so. I'm certainly hoping we can get some, you know, some more even race winners, as we've had quite a few so far this season.
Well, thank you for the rundown there, and I can officially say that I've got everything set up and ready to go, so I just need to give him the call to ready up. But we can take a quick little look at the calendar, because like we say, we still have half of the season to go. So here we are in Suzuka, and then we have round 7, Belgium, Spa-Francorchamps. Lovely track, love to be there, love to see it. Very fine action. See, I have a love-hate relationship. It's iconic track, the Camel Straight, you know, 3-4 wide moments. Here comes Sebastian Vettel, you'll love to watch it. I don't like to drive it personally. I just can't find the pace there, but I love to watch it. That is certainly a favourite of mine. And then Baku, Spielberg, Austria, the Red Bull Ring, then to my favourite track in round 10. I am so excited for this, but it's still 4 weeks away, and I cannot wait for it to happen. Saudi Arabia, Jeddah, and then we have Brazil into Lagos, and then finally Bahrain. Sakia, love it there. But as a season finale, interesting. What are your thoughts on that one, Sam?
You know, usually you see Bahrain at the start of the season, either the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, even 4th round, but we've got it as a final. You know, it's going to be our last race on the calendar, and I'm hoping that we can see some real great action there, and I'm expecting it. You know, Bahrain, very good track for overtakes, plenty of opportunities with 3 DRS zone 2 of them coming before you even exit Sector 1. So definitely be looking out for some overtakes coming on to the start of each lap. Yeah, very excited to see. You know, it's almost like, you know, Silverstone away from Silverstone in a way, in how the track is. You know, it's got everything. You know, elevation changes, chicanes, high speed, low speed, uphill, downhill. It's a great track. I do hate driving it though, but I do love watching races there.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Oh! Sam, asking you shall receive. We are about to trek you trackside because before we started commentating, before this race even started, Sam said something to me. Do you want to announce your prediction, mate? Do you want to announce what you said?
I said it's going to be wet at the start of the race, and look what we've got. It is intermediate conditions. The spectators with their brollies out, ready for the conditions. We knew it was going to happen. Well, we had a feeling anyway, with Japan being such a wet climate, and I'm happy to see this. Hopefully we can see interchangeable conditions. I love it when we get that. It saves the racing from being just a straightforward 1-stop, 2-stop, whatever you want to say. But nonetheless, that's going to definitely force some drivers into making changes that they might not want to. Obviously with the lobby restart as well, they can apply a wet setup, you know, depending on the weather. So it's not all terrible, but it's going to create some great action. I've got a feeling.
I'm excited for this. You know, when you said about a wet race, I was like, I don't know, maybe not. But, you know, you called it. You know, I love it for it. You manifested and manifested hard, and it's worked. We have torrential rain. It wouldn't surprise me to see drivers starting full wets. Look at that pit lane. It's just a huge puddle. You can see the water bouncing out of it. It's just one massive puddle. It is absolutely downpouring. I can only imagine how it's going to feel for the drivers, especially coming through Snake. We were just on board with some of the drivers during qualifying, just seeing how much they're avoiding the apex. And now they've got even less grip in Sector 1. This just throws everything up into the a true wild card of a race here. Although we've seen Smith in pole position, Tig, your Drivers' Championship leader, down the order, not qualifying too well. Could they come back in the rain? Could this be Bobby's time to do a last to first in wet conditions? Oh, this is crazy.
It is indeed. I'd love to see, you know, Bobby climbing through the order and putting in a challenge to win the race. I mean, if he wins the race and he doesn't get any penalties, that would be, it's a Max Verstappen type drive. It's a Lewis Hamilton type drive. You know, all these great drivers that have started from the back over the years and just absolutely smoked the competition. It's going to be interesting, and I'm excited to see what he's got for us today.
Absolutely. The drivers taking a lot of time to get themselves ready and get their strategies changed. Everything has been thrown in the air. They would have prepared for a dry race and had not anticipated this.
I think it is going to be interchangeable conditions, as I've just heard. It's going to be just like China, which is what we want to hear. You know, love the interchangeable conditions here, especially at such a technical track.
Oh, absolutely. I'm excited for this, to say the least. This is going to be crazy. Everybody barreling down into turn 1, trying to get the rotation in, especially with the lack of grip. There's not even a racing line yet. The cars haven't even done a lap. It's just going to be slip and slide, spray everywhere. Can you even see the racing line into that turn? That's what I want to know. The spray coming off all 18 cars, barreling down into turn 1. Oh, it's going to be mental.
I think the drivers are waiting for a go-ahead, maybe, to ready up. There's a couple of them asking when they can ready. But they can ready anytime they want.
I've just had to put a message in. Apologies for that. You just stirred at a pause menu, but you can go whenever, boys. Let me get back to reset my things. There we are. The lights are on. It's 4, 5 lights. Go on, Sam. Take it.
And it is foot to the floor as we get underway. Who gets the better start? It's looking like Smith has got the better getaway. But who is that? Aston back. AVE GoBaddy looking to make some positions up, and he gets through up into P3. Booba just about holding on to position there. AMS Smith keeping up that pole position, and Red Devil, of all people, has fallen down the order a bit. Not having the greatest of starts there, the Aston Martin. We've got the Red Bull and the Ferrari going side by side, and that's a car back into the grass. I believe that was Tig. Tig has been forced off, and Bobby's been forced off. That's not good. That is not what you want at the start of the race, but we'll go back forward as we have all the drivers settling into their positions now. Mika Lewandowski just about keeping on to his P6 from that Ferrari behind, from the challenge behind. Marius Anderson looking to get past as well, as is that Banana going side by side there for a moment with Malium Jonas. Glitch 10 just ahead of that fight. We've got the potential strategies up on the screen. It's looking like it's going to be intermediates through the end, but we could potentially see it dry up as we get towards the end of the race.
Oh,
that
this
was a bit
crazy.
of a chaotic start.
This is crazy. This is chaos. We was a bit caught out for that one, but Barber Truck has literally got a run down on Darth FIFA and does pull ahead. Very easy done. Darth FIFA struggling out of spoon in these greasy, wet conditions. Greasy, wet. It's absolutely dripping. It's pouring. There's no grip. There's no line. You can see the water all over the track. And I think Tig's going for a move there. He's knocked the bollard off. There's a slip and slide from the Haas behind, and Tig may get on through against the Mercedes here. He does! Whoa!
Yeah.
Hard racing out of the last curve there. Bananas into the pits. Potential damage there. Swapping that wing. Maybe even going full wets.
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to see. I don't think it is quite full wets, though, as what's happened there. Darfitha sending it on Tig. Tig catching that wheel of Darfitha a bit there. That's not what you want to be doing when you're fighting your rival. Look at the gap. It's opened up. It's 1.5 seconds now. They've lost that main slipstream. They're not going to be happy with that. They're going to need to fight to get back in that 1 second, you know. Obviously, no DRS while it is wet, but... Oh, that's a kick Sauber almost going off the track there through 9 and 10. That is not what you want to be doing. But it's going to be a glitch 10, sorry, around the outside of Marius Anderson. Is Marius going to be able to defend the move? He's getting boxed in here, Glitch 10, by the kick Saubers. Can he get the traction down? He's on the inside through 200R. He's not going to quite get the move. Marius Anderson just squeezes that kick Sauber back ahead. That is some very good defending from the kick Saubers. Yet again, 8 and 9, they're both together. They can both work together. I no doubt that they are communicating as well. What a start to the
we have a Ferrari and a McLaren side by side. Callum Butch is fighting it out with Barber Truck. Can Barber Truck get on through? It's 130R. He's going to send it. He tried, just didn't get ahead. Oh, that was brave. That was bold, but just behind AMS Bobby did the exact same thing. He's going around the long way around Tig. The outside line became the inside line out of the Casio triangle, and he does pull ahead. Tig is struggling. Boober with the fastest lap right behind AMS Smith. Then a 1.5 second gap to Crossfire Strikes.
Yeah, it looks like the front two are pulling away a bit. Especially is right on the heels of Smith after not getting the greatest of starts. Red Devil now still in P5. Crossfire Strikes gets himself up to P3, gets himself past Go Body. You know, looking to make some time up on the front two. He's not going to be happy with his start, but the only thing he can do now is get his head down and gain that time back.
Marius is struggling. Marius is struggling bad.
Yeah, it could be a setup issue. Maybe he hasn't loaded the right setup. Maybe he's hoping for it to dry up. Who knows? But for now, he's sticking with his teammate.
He is just sort of staying there, just being right there with his teammate. It's questionable, like, to see where this is going to play out, because if the side by side and the crossover happens and they're running 1 and 2, who's going to take priority in the pits? Who's going to have to go that 1 lap extra and risk all those positions? You know, you're saying we're seeing changing conditions. The kick Saubers are literally 8 and 9th. They're going to have to box at some point. Do they double stack?
I think it's going to be a case. I think the best thing to do is have someone box early rather than have someone box late, especially on worn intermediates if it is going dry, as that is the last tire you want to be on in the dry, is a pair of, you know, worn intermediate tires. They are just horrible to drive on. It feels like you're driving in the wet on. It is awful. Oh,
Tig, you're on the outside, I think, there.
Yeah, as Ice Cream going side by side through the S's with Mika Lewandowski. Gets past. Marius Anderson now going to be looking to make the move. He's right up that rear diffuser of Mika. Can he get past? He's going to want to follow his teammate through. They're going to want to stick together.
Oh!
He's looking for it as Mika gets a big snap of oversteer there. Marius right on there, sniffing it almost through turn 8. Now heading on to the turn 11 chicane. Can Marius get past? They're losing time. Marius is losing a lot of time behind Mika here. He's not going to want to stay there, but does he have the pace to get past? Obviously, overtaking in the wet is no easy chore. It's going to be tough for Marius.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be very, very difficult. You know, if Mika's lacking the pace now, that gap is just going to further extend. And with Marius having no way to get through, no open door, that DRS down the pit straight isn't going to help him. He needs to get a perfect run out of the last curve to get him. Even down here now, 130, is he deploying battery? Is he looking for a move? No, not quite yet. It's just not coming. But this rain's getting a little bit lighter. I don't see it as heavy as it was, or maybe I'm just being deceived. But it is still very well. Oh, there's an incident in the back. What's that? Somebody's sideways. Is that glitch 10? Oh, is that a lockup?
That is the Williams. That is the Williams, a glitch 10 there.
He dives into the pits.
Yeah, he's going to need to. He's probably got a bit of damage. Almost takes out the inside barrier there. Very hot coming in on the brakes. As Malian Jonas also pits. They're not going to be happy with that. I wonder what did cause that incident, but we've missed. Boba has taken the lead of the race. Smith falling in P2. Crossfire Strikes gaining time. Gained even more time last lap to the front two. He's going to be looking to get up there and put a challenge in. You know, as we get more yellow flags, that is a kick salver of Ice Cream having a bit of an incident there.
Oh! He's off for Callum Birch! Oh my word!
Birch, what was that? Was that Callum Birch going into him, or?
There was a moment. Callum Birch is sending it. There's contact with Tig. Oh, this is questionable manoeuvres there from the Ferrari driver. He's just throwing it all out, elbows out, but he's got damage. That front right wing is damaged. He's lost an end plate. He's not lost the element, so he's still got some form of downforce, but he's losing a lot with that end plate being gone. And he's cost Tig quite a bit of time there.
Yeah, Tig's not going to be happy with that. That was a bit of a questionable move, especially on the exit. They're now side by side. Go through 130. Oh, they're going to do it. Alan Birch just about keeps ahead there. That's a bit early on the brakes from Callum Birch there. Tig's going to let him keep the position. Fair enough from the V-car. I'd have just drove straight through. Wouldn't have fazed me. But Callum Birch very clearly struggling with that damage. He's not going to be happy with the damage he's got. You know, especially in the, you know, with a slippy track. And look at that. I mean, it's evident how much that damage is affecting him. They're going to hook wheel. Oh my God.
Oh my word, what is this? This is absolute chaos.
It's P12, gentlemen. Calm down. It's not even for the points. It's Tig's now going to try around the outside. Pushed onto the curb.
Oh my word.
You'd think they were fighting for a championship.
Well, Tig is leading the championship. Callum doing anything he can to keep Tig behind and to stop that point advantage, that point gap getting further along. Callum's defending like he's got a gun pointed to his head. Look, he's blocking that inside line, but he was there all along. That was questionable from Tig. But I'm not surprised with the frustration. There's a little bit of a wheel bang there. He lets him go back through. Callum Birch is letting it all out, but the rain has stopped. This is it. Maybe we could see a crossover because that track looks like it's drying up very quickly.
Yeah, Callum Birch is going to be happy with that. He's going to get the chance to come in and get some slick tyres on, gain a bit more grip back. As he's just parking it on the exit corners here. He's defending for his life against Tig currently. As Tig now right up that rear diffuser. How close they are. He's at the outside line. Do not do a centre and pros, ladies and gentlemen. We don't want to see that.
He's going to get the exit speed. Is he going to get the exit speed? Yes, he is.
As Callum Birch dives into the pits. Callum into the pits. Tig is now going to get released. He's going to be able to unleash his pace as he has lost 5 seconds to Darth FIFA ahead in P11. And Jack, who has made a pit stop, is now only 3 seconds behind Tig as Callum Birch retires in the pit lane.
Oh, ice cream's out.
Yeah, he retired in the pit lane as well, I believe.
I didn't see that. I just see yellow flags. Never mind. I thought he crashed.
With that battle we were watching, there wasn't really much we could focus on.
No, I mean, that's questionable from Callum Birch, I've got to say. He was defending like his life was on it, and then he just retires. If that was the plan all along, I would have just released Tig. It's not really your fight. You know, we're near him in standings, and I don't know. All the tyre hooks.
It's one of them. I think both drivers could have done better, especially at the start of the incident. Obviously, Callum Birch, I'm not sure what happened between him and Ice Cream, where he just sent it up the inside of turn 8, which is not a corner you want to be sending it up the inside of. Very high. So I mean, you're flat on the floor coming through turn 8. You know, don't be sending it through the inside there. Obviously, Ice Cream then went flying off. Callum Birch then got passed by Tig, and then immediately trying to get them positions back by diving it down the inside, and it all just went downhill from there as the front 4 even, still not pitting. DRS is still not active. That is what they're going to be waiting for, I think, as, you know, there's a bit of a fight for 4th and a bit of a fight for 1st here. You know, the cars are split 3 and 3 as Bobby's retired from the session in the pit lane. Clearly had enough of this track, as I'm sure, well, already we've seen a few drivers have had enough of this track. It's not been the greatest of races for most, as Banana now also coming into the pit lane. Still at the back, you know, he's very far behind Banana. He's going to be needing a safety car realistically if he wants to move up that field. Gets the hard tyres on. He is on the slicks. It is wet in that pit lane, but I think the track is dry enough now for the slick compound tyres. Everyone coming now. Glitch 10 coming in. It's slicks. It is slicks, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, just looking at these intermediate runners, there's a lot of lift and coast and gentle on the throttle. Maybe the temperatures are rising up a little bit there. They're not gaining too much time. The inters maybe starting to burn away. Like you say, time for softs. Is the crossover enabled? But I haven't seen the call for DRS. I have not seen that shout for DRS enabled. But we could see another fastest lap here from Booba until those soft runners start to get around the circuit. Until those dry runners, should I say, get around the circuit.
Yeah, it's gonna be soon. I'm imagining the DRS call. I mean, the track looks completely bone dry to me, at least. You know, Smith and Booba are up on their lap times. I'm not really sure what else the stewards are waiting for here. It is a dry track. The track is completely dry. We're just waiting now on that DRS call.
You can see the tyres there, so from Darth FIFA downwards, hard tyres are on. Barber truck there in the pits for the hard compounder tyre will be passed potentially by Jack. Jack's in the pits, will not be passed. Malcolm Jonas, is he going to carry on down the line? He is. Stays out on the intermediate tyres, goes ahead of Jack, but we have now a mix of inters and hard runners. But see, this is the thing, the intermediates over time, the way that they were in, they'll become essentially a slick. But I don't know if that transverses into the game. Does that still work? I've never tried it.
No, me neither. I've never wanted to risk it either. I've always just come in and got myself on the softs or the mediums, or as I do prefer a dry track to a wet one, but it's one of them. I think you are going to be seeing these front drivers, or maybe on the forecast they've seen more rain. Maybe the rain's going to come back as the skies are not clear.
Wait! Safety car glitched in the last corner. What's happened with Glitch? We're about to come round the Cassia Triangle now and see. Is he in the wall at the pit lane? Oh, the car disappeared. I think he's crashed in the pits.
Yeah, maybe. That is not what you want as a driver. Yeah, debris is in the pit lane. He's crashed into the pit lane. Everyone now, especially the intermediate runners, are going to want to be changing on over to the slick tyres. Everyone coming in now for the hards by the looks of it. What has happened there?
I'm slightly disappointed in Penry.
I'm disappointed with Penry as well. That is not. We did not expect to see a safety car.
No, that's just changed everything. Like he's just completely screwed over the guys that were going for the undercut on the hards.
Oh my God, Tigger's just pitted as well.
He's just completely. The race dynamic has just been completely shifted, and now what would have been an undercut for those that have gone the hards early, compared to the front 8 runners that had stayed out front 9 drivers, still on intermediates. We have now been given the chance to box. You see Jack's retiring there. Wait, Jack's crashed? That's not in the pits. Look, Jack's crashed!
What is going on today? How... Guys, what are you doing?
What?
Oh my God.
Oh, you can see the carbon on you can see the carbon on the gravel. You could see pieces that was left of Jack's ass in the gravel. That's all that's left of him. He's physically exploded and just left apart just a couple pieces of wing. Wow. In the space of 2 laps, 2 drivers have died in the same place.
I mean, it's not an awfully tricky pit entry. Just be a bit easier on the brakes and you won't have an... I'm not sure what the drivers are doing today. They're clearly not in the right state of mind to be racing, but at least we'll get the pack back bunched together.
Well, yeah, and then we'll have 17 laps of racing.
Yeah, by the looks of it, at least. Let's see.
Well, it's not much to talk about now because everything's just slowed down. I might as well just bring us back to this one. Hiya, how are we doing? You can see my face. I'm still trying to convince Sam to get a cam.
Those poor viewers.
When are you gonna get a cam, Sam?
Who knows?
Ooh, could it be a special reveal, one-time reveal?
Who knows? We'll see. Maybe one day. But for now, you get to only look at Corey. He takes the show away. I mean, look at him.
In the spotlight, mate. In the spotlight, literally.
I mean, I'm not looking at the stream right now, but I can guess he's sitting there in a dressing gown, cup of tea on the side, sitting there, you know, ready for whenever I take over commentating. He takes himself a nice cheeky slurp there. Yeah, sitting in his chair, just chilling.
You're absolutely right about having the brew, only I'm not in my dressing gown today, I'm in a hoodie.
Well, 1
Maybe
for 2 is alright, isn't it? Because Tig needs to hurry his bum up if he wants to catch the safety car. He's very far. He's 37 seconds behind. Can he even catch them in time? What's he doing? He's taking his time for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see,
he's really delaying it. Things are getting very delayed. I'm simulating a clock. Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. This is what commentators do when there's a safety car and there's nothing to mention, nothing to talk about. You just sit here and
we hate safety cars.
We hate safety cars. We are so bored.
I know I hate safety cars, especially commentating. I mean, what? There's no action. There's nothing. We can't see anything. Safety car's staying out for another lap because you got slow coach Tig at the back here. Come on, Tig. What are you doing? Hurry your ass up. You've got no damage. You're on fresh tyres. Get a scurry on.
What can you do, eh? What can you do? He's taking his sweet time. This safety car's going for longer laps. We can see the tyres on the screen. Everybody on the hard company tyres. Banana's 4 laps old with Darth FIFA. Then you got 3 laps for Barber Truck and everybody else just on 2 lap old tyres. So it's a pretty even spread. Now, You shall refer to me as the forehead because all you can see is my forehead.
I think I need to pull the stream off and have a look at this. Oh, we're on YouTube now, aren't we?
We are on YouTube. We're not on Twitch anymore. We passed that to the tier 2 boys. If you want to get involved on that one as well, they might not have a safety car, so have a little snoop on that one. Have a little look on that on the Twitch. But if you're joining us later on after the live stream and you're watching the replays, then tier 2 will be uploaded to the YouTube and it's on playlist for season 3 EU2. And of course we have the American tier, so that mentions me on the American side.
Hey, TikTok.
Can't be the forehead.
Finally. Well, so 16 laps of racing then after this, because you know Tig decided to be on snail pace for a bit there, but hopefully he's not going to be on snail pace during the rest of the race as he is currently in a championship fight. Banana as well in P11, not scoring any points so far. As it stands, you know, Malium Jonas is the only one in the top 3 of the championship scoring points. Smith in P2 could take the lead today. Very much possible. He's within the right amount of points as safety car will be coming in this lap. Let's get ourselves back to the front of the pack where it will be Booba to start us off, as he's going to have to wait for the car to fully enter the pit lane until he can take us away. Back in the pack up there nicely. When will he go? When will he go?
He's gone.
He's going. He's gone. He's gone. He's caught Smith lacking a bit there. Crossfire strikes. He's going to get a bit of slipstream. Could get a run here up into turn 1 on the inside. Crossfire strikes. He's going to back out of it. Smith getting caught a bit there by Booba on the safety car restart. That is not what you want to be. You don't want to be caught snoozing on a safety car restart. It's the worst thing to do.
Oh, I forgot to change the screen, so I've changed us back. We're at the intermission screen. I forgot about that. Apologies on that for the restart. I was doing a bit of camera work there, so you would have seen my concentration face. Because sometimes I like to go on board and flicker the cameras around and be like, ooh, oh, fancy.
Yeah, as they do. But we're back underway. We're in dry conditions. Has DRS been activated? I've not even noticed.
I think it
let's
has.
hope so. Surely, right? I mean, it'd be criminal if it
Oh,
hasn't.
there's a big set from Malium Jonas on Darth FIFA, and through goes Tig as well, following him though, going into the hairpin. That was bold and brave from the South African driver, and Tig just capitalising on that.
Yeah, he really needs to get himself up there. He does, Tig. He is the one leading the championship, and as it stands, I think, I'll double check the standings, I think his teammate is going to take the lead. I think Smith will be your championship leader as it stands. Which is not terrible for Tig. At least it's his teammate taking the lead and not his main rival, which is Banana. But yeah, AMS Smith currently will be a championship leader.
Ooh, this is interesting as he's under attack from Crossfire Strikes, who took the fastest lap and immediately gets it taken away from Banana, but he moves up into P2. A little bit of a scrap there, we saw that coming. Anybody else further down the line making moves? Mika's looking for it, just can't get it. Stays behind, potential switchback manoeuvre, and it's done. Mika goes on through.
Nicely. That was a very nice move from the Red Bull driver there. Wow.
Yeah, good reading of the race situation. Saw that the Mercedes went a little bit too hot and ran it a bit wide and just switched it back nicely. Moves up into P12.
Yeah, he's going to be wanting to get himself further up the field as he's right on the back of this pack. This main pack, as he, at least for me, has just set the fastest sector 1. Who knows? As what's happened there?
Big
Banana going wide there as Malium Jones getting past on Banana. I think that was Red Devil as well, also going. Evan Hairpin coming through Spoon now. They've lost a bit of time. Red Devil leading the pack. Malium Jonas is Red Devil's rear diffuser. He's going to be looking to get past. He's looking very racy, Malium Jones. Go back towards the front of the field. Smith has lost positions out to Crossfire and Go Body. Not what the V-carb driver wants. There he is. Oh, on the outside goes Myth. Where did he come from? Marius Anderson as well is going to follow Myth through. AMS Smith has lost 4 or 5 positions on this second lap. What has happened?
He's just not got those tyres fired up and working for him. It looks like the rest of the grid is ready to go, and that surprises me with how many safety car laps we've had. You've had plenty of time to prepare, plenty of time to get yourself ready. That is crazy stuff.
Oh, sorry, I was having a bit of a yawn there. Yeah, that is not the safety car restart he's going to want to have had. I don't think he's going to be leading the championship if he finishes P6. I've not done the points calculation in my head, but yeah, he's really struggling on these open laps.
We can look into that a little later on to see where things are and where it's going. But for now, Booba leading the charge, the Williams reserve, looking to take a victory, which could be proving very well. We also have a second reservist, Crossfire Strikes in the McLaren in P2. Could be the charge of the reserves here into the second half of the season. Looking to get the full-time seat, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, Booba's been there right, you know, the whole race, really. He's never looked to have given up. He's, you know, qualified P2, had a bit of a shaky start, but other than that, he's been absolutely exceptional in this Japanese Grand Prix. Crossfire Strikes as well, sitting there in P2, losing positions out on the start, and now he's going to get that down to turn 1. He's going to pass Booba nice and easily as AV Gobadi as well slots in behind, stays in P3, doesn't have the runway to get that move done. Smith still in P6. Not looking good for the V-carb drivers today.
Apologies, I was just going through the Discord trying to have a little nosy to see if anything's changed and any situations may have occurred for the drivers that have DNF, trying to get some information regarding Jack glitched of the crashing into the final corner, but I can't see anything there of what may have caused that. That's
I'm definitely going to be wanting to see the POVs of both of those crashes as soon as possible.
Oh, Jack says, Jack just said he's a little bit stupid. I am stupid. I'm not going to repeat the actual word he said, but he said I am stupid in F1 terms, to say the least. But I was looking for the information there to try and find out whether any spicy details on what's gone down. But for AMS Smith, what was looking like a very good start to the race, he got pole, he was leading, fighting with Booba. Now it's Cross who leads, and here goes Avi Gobadi side by side. It's Myth side by side with Avi Gobadi, trying to get on through the Ferrari, looking very racy and pacey in dry conditions. May have opened the door for Marius Anderson to come on through as well. Look at that, the weaving, trying to break the toe, trying to break the slipstream. Marius against Myth. He does pull on through going into turn 1. Now sets his sights on Avi Gobadi. P3 well within striking distance for the Kicksauber driver. That's just pure consistency. We said it earlier. They were leading the constructors at one point before they've been jumped inevitably by the V-carbs in constructors. But with Marius's consistent points, finishes and podiums, it looks like the Kicksaubers could well and truly come back.
Yeah, they've not got a very big gap. I mean, it's within 10 points to the top. I think it's 11 points. Kicksauber need to make up to take that top spot in the constructors, but you know, it's to be expected from them. They've been very quick all long, and now, you know, Marius Anderson being the last Kicksauber is ahead of both V-carbs. You know, the V-carbs not scoring as many points as they'd like to today. Marius Anderson currently outscoring the both of them.
I see Tig potentially fighting away with the Devil as we got into 130R. Tig had a little bit more traction there, just got a little bit closer to Red Devil coming through Spring Corner. We're down on the back stretch now, he's looking for it, but Red Devil's using the Mercedes as a bit of a defensive tool, creates a bit of a wall, forces Tig into the non-optimum line, but can he get on through? No, he cannot. Tig's still going to fight on. Red Devil against Banana goes on through. Tig goes on through as well, just managing to make it into the Casio Triangle. Well and truly done. And as they come down to start lap 18, that was a much needed manoeuvre for Tig to stay with Red Devil. He's now looking for it with the DRS, going down into turn 1. It's easy done. Gets ahead before he even has to rotate the car around.
Yeah, very nicely
That's a
done
slow
there
banana.
from Tig. Banana's falling right down the order.
That's a very slow banana. That's an issue for banana.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a mistake, maybe a bit of a spin there from the banana. He's not had a great race so far today. He's struggled a lot. You know, he's been unlucky, picked up damage early on, having to pit and change that wing. It's not what you want to be doing, especially when you're contending for a title. As there's yellow flags again for Banana. Really, really, I think he's just slow. Yeah, he's slowed himself down. I think he's going to be coming in and retiring at the end of this lap.
Well, it's unfortunate for Banana, a driver who was champion last season for Tier 2, EU2, that he's now become in Season 3. Some changes from Season 2 to Season 3, but was the driver's champion. He's just not really had the best season here in Tier 1.
No, he hasn't. He's really struggled. He has, which is very unfortunate for him. Especially today. Clearly, it's not one of his tracks that he favours. It's not a track that many people tend to favour. As Crossfire strikes, he's going to look to get the move done on Booba. Gets himself past nicely. Go Baddy as well, looking to get past. Gets squeezed by the Williams there. Almost getting spun round.
Oh,
And Marius
Myth!
Anderson now. Oh, Myth, sorry, even. Getting past Marius Anderson. God, these front 4, 5, 6 drivers are just swapping positions every lap.
Ooh,
What is
Barb
going
attack! That could have been beautiful. Is there a switchback? Can he make it stick? No, he can't. Smith stays ahead. He's looking for it again. No, he can't get it. Oh, Barber Truck just had a beautiful line coming out of the anti-bank curve towards Dunlop and almost switched back AMS Smith. We have a retirement in the pits of Banana. Yeah, like we saw it coming. He was running very, very slowly. There'll only be 12 finishers out of 18 here in Japan. It's not been the best of races.
No, it really hasn't. He's definitely struggled today, and fair play to him for carrying on as long as he did. But he has decided he's had enough. He's thrown the towel in, and he's going to have to come back at them next week out. Hopefully, he can do better. You know, he's going to need to. We've not got many races left.
Yeah, you know, getting into the second half of the season next week, starting round 7, heading over to Spa. It starts to feel the pressure. This is where you need to start making points back. For the likes of Marius Anderson as well in terms of constructors, he's going to need to put on a consistent fight. I mean, he's finishing ahead of Tig, which is good, but AMS Smith also, VCAB in the points. His teammate Marius Anderson out of the points, not even finishing the race. So in terms of constructors there, what they're going for, it's going to be a bit difficult. Smith and Tig could be fighting each other for the championship, but Smith isn't up there in the points. He needs to start getting back.
Yeah, he really does. Tig is going to be in P8, and that's a spin at the back. What's happened there?
Oh, Darth FIFA's out. Virtual safety car. He's had a moment. He's ended up through the snake section, maybe just clipping a curb. We haven't seen it on stream, but we mentioned in qualifying the drivers were desperately trying to stay away from the curves, but get as close as possible to get the best racing line that they could. And you just clip it by that tiny little bit, or just run your throttle a bit too hot, light up those rear tyres, send yourself into the gravel. You lose all control. You're a passenger. And then you go into the barrier, take off one of your front wheel axles, and you're done. That's it. Nothing more you can do from there. It seems to be the case for Darth FIFA. Both Mercedes drivers not scoring, not finishing the race. In terms of constructors, may not be too damaging with where they are in placements, but again, like we say, they need to get points as we go into the second half of the season. This is it now.
Yeah, they really do. Sorry, I love it when...
We're green flags.
We're green flags. We are green flags. I was just about to say, I love it when you see the drivers weaving side to side, but because of how the game is, they've got to do it so quickly to get the tyre temps in. It's a very funny sight to see.
The rapid shaking of the car, where it just looks like it's just shaking
just look
about.
like they've let go of their wheel.
Yeah.
Bit of wheel oscillation, but it will be Crossfire strikes at lead of the way under the restart. He's got himself a very good restart, 6/10 gap to Booba. You know, that's going to be very crucial if he wants to win this race. He's going to save some battery by the looks of it, though. That rear light was flashing. He's going to lose all that time he gained. All the
Your mic's
drivers
gone a
really
bit strange, my friend. I don't know what it is, if you're covering your microphone or what, but you sound like you're underwater.
see that any better?
That's better.
There we go. But as I was saying, you know, all the drivers looking to use all that battery they've now saved up underneath the VSC. It's very easy to save up battery in the VSC. As Malcolm Jonas gets through on Tig there. Tig is ghosted. What has happened
Disconnect.
there?
I think that's a
The
disconnect.
V-carb, is that a disconnect? Let me see if I can get him back in.
Keep your eye on that, and I'll run us away with the order. Still, we've got Avi Gabadi closing down on Booba now. Like we said, Booba was recharging that battery. We had a short VSC after what was a moment for Darth FIFA. But Avi Gabadi looking like could score a good podium finish here. Maybe even challenge against Booba. And maybe even Crossfire Strikes, the reserve drivers, looking very, very strong as they come in here into OTLR. Can they secure a full-time seat? We do have a full lineup, but here goes Booba with the DRS. Avi Gabadi looking to get on through also. But further behind, Marius Anderson defending against Myth and AMS Smith. Smith trying to get on through on Myth. This is going to get interesting. It's awkward to say Smith and Myth at the same time. There's contact. Myth is sent spinning though. AMS Smith keeps on going. He's lost another position out to the Mercedes, to the McLaren even, of Barbara Truck. That could have been disastrous for Myth, especially in the snake sections. Go try and say Smith and Myth so many times in the same sentence. That gets a mouthful. William Jonas disconnect.
Indeed. Oh my God, what is going on here today? I'll try and get these drivers back in. Oh, I can see there's a bit of contact there. Smith and Marius Anderson. Smith just tapping the rear of Marius Anderson. Let's see, can I get Malcolm Jonas back into the lobby?
Smith is defending like a lion, maybe slowing down and letting Mick catch up a bit, but through goes Barbara Truck, keeping that position. Marius Anderson also maintaining his position, but they're just scraping the cusp of losing DRS. It was almost 8.5 tenths. They start to catch up a little bit. Marius Anderson needing to burn some battery to catch back up to those runners ahead. Cannot risk losing the DRS and being under attack down that pit straight. He needs to use the DRS to catch back up. Can he do so? Barbara Truck was looking a little bit out of shape there, but didn't lose too much time in terms of deficit on Marius Anderson. No overtakes coming yet, not even from the front runners. Although Booba does not have the DRS, Crossfire's just gaining, closing that gap up a little bit more. Avi Gabadi lining up, waiting for an open door, waiting for the opportunistic move. Everybody settling into the pace now. 4 laps to go as we get going on tour 23 of 27.
Yeah, not many laps now. They're all going to be get themselves into P2, P3, ready to take P1 on the final lap. Is where you want to play. You know, coming down to 130 are probably your best chance if you are still behind in P2, but you're going to want to get that move sealed on the start-finish straight. Ideally, Smith still looking to be struggling as he is towards the back of this train. Myth being the only one behind him. Myth and Smith, why are your names so similar? As we've got yellow flags. Is that? Who is that? I think that's
Tig.
That's Tig.
Retaking control of his car, having a moment and picking up front right damage. That front right end plate's gone. Whoa! Almost lost it out of 200R. He's all over the grass. What's he doing? Oh, mate. Let's not.
Just go to the pit lane and retire.
Let's not, you know.
I'll keep an eye on that if you want to take the viewers away at the front.
We shall indeed. Sorry, I was just keeping my eye on that. There's some questionable behaviour being the head steward. Need to keep my eye on questionable stuff. Crossfire Strikes looking for ascent into turn 1. Can't quite get there as of yet. Marius Anderson tucks in behind Avi Gabadi. This could be 6, maybe 7 car fight for the race victory as we get going on tour 24. Things are looking to spice up a little. Avi Gabadi having a bit of a moment there, coming through the snake section as we go back around the anti-bank curve and through Dunlop. He does get himself collected and calm. He's just right on the rear tail of Crossfire. Crossfire maybe just recharging a bit of that battery. He lost a couple tenths to Boober ahead. Much needed to set yourself up now. See, now this is the game of chess. They're just preparing for the final runs, the final tours, the final laps. That end game of the Grand Prix. When will be the time to make the move? Buba needs to gap and break the DRS and put Cross in an unfortunate situation. Avi Gobadi needs to get ahead and secure the position for the final lap, for the final push to take the race victory. Marius Anderson just looking for the best race finish that he can. We've had him in the interview booth in the past after some finishing positions, and he always says the same. It's just about maximising race potential, getting the highest finishing order possible, not looking for victories, just looking for podiums and consistent finishes.
Yeah, it's what you want. Some more yellow flags there. Not sure what's happened as AMS Smith picks up a 3-second penalty. That is going to be his. You know, he's going to even lose out to Red Devil as it stands.
Oh, crossfire to the outside into turn 1. Buba is defending. Avi Gobadi's got an open door and trying to get on through. Oh, contact with crossfire. He does well to keep himself collected and catch that card as the McLaren reserve driver. Avi Gobadi takes track position, setting himself up for the final run. Crossfire needs to get back up there. Marius Anderson closing up now to the back across. Barber Truck, the also McLaren, trying to close in, trying to do something about it. Guys, reserve heaven here. The only reserve who isn't going to be finishing the race is Thomas M. or Darth FIFA, known in-game. Other than that, it's a 1, 2, 3 of no, it's a 1, 3, and 5 of reserve drivers.
Yeah, it is indeed all reserve drivers looking to put a fight in. The top 5 so close together as it stands. Tig now heads into the pit lane. Yeah, again, I'm assuming he's coming in for a retirement.
Fastest lap.
Or fastest lap, yeah. Could be trying to take that fastest lap point away from. Let me see quickly. Actually, I don't actually fastest lap. It is Buba, is your race leader in the Williams, who has the fastest lap currently.
So he's outside of the points. He will not take the fastest lap point on to his finishing total on the race, but if he can reduce that by 1 point to his current rival Buba, who's looking strong for race victory, then so be it. Avi Gobadi looking to set up now. We're on the penultimate lap. This is where we'll see him close up, get right on that rear diffuser, set himself up for the pit straight for an easy overtake, because everywhere else it's very hard to overtake. Maybe even into the final chicane he overtakes, you know. If he can get the DRS detection point and then send it into the final chicane, get ahead, he'll have the DRS down the pit straight, further using it as a defensive aid to defend against Buba and secure that victory.
Yeah, it's one of them. It's a risky move to pull off. If you do, you know, don't Ayrton Senna, Alain Prost yourselves. You don't want to be doing that and causing yourself an incident like that. But if you can get the move done into the chicane, get it done nicely, as Buba is still leading us away. To have the disadvantage coming on to this next lap. Can he build up a gap high enough to stay ahead of these drivers, or can he even catch up to Tig? Tig right, you know, right close up in front. He's about almost lapped here. So is Tig. As Buba now heads onto the final lap, he will be the first driver to take us away for this final tour of soccer. Can he stay ahead? Has he got the battery? It's all foot to the floor. He's burned every last bit. Avi Gobadi, though, is going to get the run of a lifetime. He's going to get the move secured. He's ahead now. Stands, but there is still plenty of overtaking opportunity to come in Sector 3. Buba just has to stay with him and keep that battery level nice and high. Avi Gobadi now leading us in section. Can he hold this lead? Can he get his first victory in Tier 1? An outside shot almost, you know, none of us expected him to come here and put in such a challenge, but he has been exceptional so far after having a bit shaky start. He's got himself back into the points with that dry, interchangeable conditions, you know, back up onto the top step where he was wanting to be after a great qualifying and a great start to the race. He's still leading. Buba in behind, Crossfire Strikes in P3 and Marius Anderson in P4. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a couple of position changes though, as Buba now is going to get his final run heading on towards one. Who gets the better exit? Avi Gobadi is going to want to burn every last bit of battery as Booba is very close now. Can he get close enough?
Oh, look at the run! Booba's going free, Cassia triangle! Oh, he's pushed off, he's pushed wide, there's contact, Booba goes through, it's a 3 second, they're off the track! Huge!
He's going to take the down to the line.
Crossfire to the line and takes the victory! Disqualified! Booba! What have we just seen in the Cassia triangle? That was dramatic here in Suzuka. Oh my word. Avi Gobadi looking strong for victory, but in the end, there can only be one, and it is Crossfire Strikes to take it, kept his nose clean after a controversial moment. Big send from Booba, pushing off Avi Gobadi, contact dive bombs. Oh my word, that was dramatic. I would suspect to see that one in the steward's room. But that is your finishing order. Crossfire Strikes takes a victory. Marius Anderson in P2. And it's a McLaren double podium with the reserve driver Barbara Truck filling it off. Myth in P4, Smith P5, Red Devil and Avi Gobadi P6 and 7. Mika, Mariam Jonas and Tig. Red Devil's left, but he did finish in P6. I need to write that one down before I forget. That was... wow. Alright then, where do we even begin?
I don't know. Are we going to be getting interviews in here? I mean, I was expecting to have Marius Anderson back in the interview room. Pretty said and done with the top 3.
We are going to get interviews, but I need to wait for the finishing order to display on my screen so I can get the screenshots of the results, being the host and the current reserve tier coordinator, I could say. Reserving as a tier coordinator, I need to get those results in. But Red Devil did finish in P6.
That was certainly something.
It was indeed. My, oh my, oh my.
Wow.
And here we have the finishing order. Crossfire Strikes takes that victory. Marius Anderson. Oh, hang on. Screenshot. There we go. Marius Anderson P2. Barbara Truck P3. Myth P4. AMS Smith P5. Avi Gobadi. Mika, who will be swapped around with Red Devil. I think Red Devil was P7 actually, or maybe P6. He was P6. Avi Gobadi P7. And then going down the order, Mariam Jonas, Tig, Red Devil doing your finishing, and then DNFs starting with Darth, FIFA, and all the way down the grid. Banana, Jack, Glitch 10, Bobby, Callum Birch, Ice Cream, and Booba not finishing the Grand Prix. Booba with that disqualification. I don't know what's going to happen though. I do expect to see some form of steward reports on that. So maybe you'll find out in Spa-Francorchamps. But nevertheless, we move on to the interview room.